Hey everybody, you're watching the AFTERBUZZ TV after show for The Girlfriend Experience Season 1, Episodes 5 and 6, called Insurance and Boundaries. Join us as we break down the episodes and share our thoughts and predictions. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, everybody. My name is Samantha Benitz. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Samantha_Benitz. I'm your lead host, and of course, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Rhavin McSweany.
Hey everybody, it's Rhavin with the V here. You can find me at BStaysBizzy, B-I-Z-Z-Y, everywhere. And shout out to our other Sam.
Yes,
she is
Sam
recovering a broken
D43.
foot.
Yes.
Too much twerking.
That's
So,
what happened.
Get well soon.
You watch too much of The Girlfriend Experience, do a little too much twerking. And
Basically.
there you are. Well, we hope you get better soon, and we can't wait to have you back next week. But before we dive into episodes 5 and 6, which are very juicy and crazy, we're going to do a little recap of episodes 3 and 4 to get you up to speed.
Yes. So 3 and 4, we find that Christine confronts Jacqueline based on feeling she just isn't a good leader. You know, she's not a good fit. And we see Christine basically one by one addressing all of her clients, saying she's going to leave the agency and she wants to keep their business, you know, independently in her repertoire. And it seems to work fine. Everyone's down for the cause. We also see that David, her boss, loses one of their major clients, and Erin, using the gifts God gave her, seals the deal under her own terms.
Yep.
Sometimes it happens like that, ladies and gentlemen.
Get it, girl.
We also see Christine juggling the demands of law school, her internship, and her expanding the list of clients, because I think those last episodes, we were starting to lose count of the names.
Yeah. It's an exponential growth that she's got going on here.
Exactly. So she's getting a little curious with what's going on with Kirkland partners, and at David's annual party, she kind of notices that. So I think that has piqued her interest a lot, which will soon, I think, start to get her in trouble, which we will talk about
Definitely.
later.
We'll hit that point for sure.
And then, of course, at the end, she seals the deal
Oh,
by
boy.
sleeping with Dave.
Mixing business
David.
with pleasure.
Right. Which already complicates things already, because she has that secretive double life. So
Exactly.
a lot of juice from the last 2 episodes, for sure.
Yeah, that is very true. She's a busy girl, and I feel like now all of her actions are starting to catch up with her, and we're seeing that definitely in today's episodes. It was an awesome 2 episodes today, I felt like. I actually enjoyed where they took the plot, and it didn't really make me feel like I knew what was going to happen. It kind of shocked me.
Yeah, there was a lot of shockers.
Yeah. So, of course, the reviews are still coming in for the show. Maxim says, STARZ new show offers the closest thing to a real-life superhero, come femme fatale, that we've seen in a very long time. And boy, is it a glorious thing. And we were talking about that as we're watching it. We're like, the guys are the ones who are actually looking vulnerable in this series. They look very codependent on her. They're looking for a little admiration.
Which we will see.
Love and
We
cuddling.
end up with a stage 5 clinger.
Yeah. Watch out a little.
Talk about that. We'll talk about
a little
that.
too much attention, and she's not feeling it. And of course, Entertainment Weekly gave the series an A-, which is pretty good. They said, compared to Sasha Grey in the original film, Keough is a more approachable figure. In the 4 episodes I've seen, the show pays as much attention to her work as a corporate law intern as it does to everything else. Part of what makes the small screen experience so interesting is how Keough's Christine actively and aggressively moves into the call girl world. And she certainly does. She seems like a
Aggressively.
real natural. In
Yes, we were both talking about our Cuda Cats. We're just feeling a little tired for her.
Yes, we were exhausted for her.
These last 2 episodes.
I'm like, I'm going celibate from watching.
She was going, honey.
She's keeping it busy. That's for sure. So, of course, we'll start out with episode 5 today, which, of course, is called Insurance. And basically, it's about how Christine's secret identity is compromised following the death of one of her clients. And so, in the first scene, we kind of get a little snippet at something that happens a little bit later between her and a client, Jack. But we'll
Right.
touch on that afterwards. But we see this relationship further developing with her client, Michael.
Which I
who-
think we called him James in the past. I'm not
Yes.
exactly sure,
So,
but
small correction if
one
we
of my
did.
favorites. One of my favorites because he was the one who didn't have a wife.
Yeah. He seemed like
he was
a
the
decent
widower
guy.
or the ex-divorcee or something like that.
Yeah, he's just looking for a little love, and I feel like he's lived his whole life, and he's trying to relax, and he wants a woman by his side. So
It was
I
pretty
don't hate Michael.
genuine.
Yeah.
It was genuine. Of course, we love him. That's why they got rid of him.
Exactly.
They
and
don't
he
want us
had
to get
go.
too attached.
So we see in the scene where she seems to be on his yacht or a boat. What would we call that thing?
Yacht, for
a yacht.
sure.
Okay, it looked pretty nice.
I
It
mean,
had
when you have a
crew.
captain and
Yeah.
a staff, well, 2 staff members, like,
You're right. They're not sailing around. So, of course, we see their relationship, and she gives him all this sweet, kind attention, and she's telling him, you know, I really like spending time with you. You know, I really don't want to be with anybody else at this time. And he seems totally infatuated with her as well, and
but
grateful.
he's super real. He's a realist,
Yeah.
right? Because he's like, I love that, but I wouldn't expect it.
Exactly.
And I think
he's
that's what she
grateful
loves
to
about him
have
even more.
Yeah, exactly. He just seems appreciative to even have a woman who's so beautiful and young by his side and showing him this much love. So I really do like the character of Michael, and we get a little scared because she's calling his name after they
Girl,
have
we
a
thought he
little
drowned.
menage a trois on the boat, and we hear Michael, Michael, and they're searching, and it seems like this man has either gone off the boat or she might be framed for a little something because he sent off the crew to get some alone time, basically.
Right.
And all I'm thinking is, great, she's going to be framed for murder. What's going to happen? Where
It's
are
gonna
they
be all
taking
over the
this?
news. And
Yeah. And of course, he ends up being okay. So that scene kind of ends. But we get a call in a limo a few minutes later, basically, where Christine finds out that Michael did die indeed. So it was kind of a little
that
foreshadowing.
was a
there.
foreshadowing of
Yeah,
sorts.
a little
and
red
I'm
herring.
wondering why they chose to do that
Yeah.
in that manner. What do you think?
Yeah, it's interesting to me that they didn't have him die on the boat, but I don't think they wanted to put that much conflict given all that was to come at work and with her other client, Jack. I'm sure they were like, well, let's not overwhelm the audience or something along those lines.
That's a good point, speaking of Jack, because I swear if Michael hadn't had a cardiac arrest, I don't think she would have spent that much time with Jack.
No.
I really don't.
No, I think she would have still been with him because he doesn't put the pressure on her. He accepts her as she is and without any, you know, conditions or strings attached. So I feel like that's why she respected him and he respected her.
Hence him leaving her a beneficiary of a
Yes.
nice lump sum.
$500,000 lump sum. But of course, it has a condition. It's tied to her name.
It's not Christine, it's
Chelsea
Chelsea Rain.
Rain.
Which, didn't I say my name was something Rain? My call girl name? She just took my last
It's a
name.
popular choice, we can see.
Is this our first time hearing her last name?
I don't think I heard it last time because
it's
I was like,
always
Rain,
been
huh?
Chelsea and now Chelsea Rain.
Yeah.
She's been watching that. They've been watching the after show. Hey.
She got a little inspiration. That's so sweet. Well, of course, $500,000 is no small lump sum.
not.
So his family finds out and catches wind of the whole thing, and they want to know who this person is. And in order for her to get the money, obviously, she has to prove her identification, basically. Give them a little something, a license, a passport,
That little
social
website.
security.
That little website is not enough.
And unfortunately, going under an alias is not going to get you paid unless you're willing to put it on public record that you are a escort, which could lead to criminal charges. And she finds this out by meeting up with one of her lawyer clients who's a little upset because
He thought this
Yeah.
was a bump and grind meeting, not,
Unfortunately, it was
strictly
all
business.
yeah. So what do you feel about their whole interaction, and do you think that she's going to go further with getting that money?
I mean, if she was smart, she'd leave it alone because the way she's putting them down, I mean, she can make that, she can make that quickly, in my opinion. But she seems to not have a care in the world. She is very, I don't know, the way she's sticking her nose in at work at an internship and everything, I feel like she might go for that $500,000.
That's a good
I
point.
wouldn't. But then again, I'm no Chelsea Rain. So
This is true. So it's interesting to me because we do kind of see a little bit of vulnerability from her, and we also see a few smiles, which we were mentioning. That's kind of shocking, and she looks so pretty when she smiles. Yeah, but
she
she's
completely
got the
looks
mask on,
different when
Mhm.
she smiles. It's a different face. It's a different shape. And it's actually a little pleasant.
A different persona. I feel like she turns off, her emotions when she's with her clients. But as she meets up with a caller from the earlier scenes, he's interested in having some sort of threesome. It appears
Right.
with his wife, his wife seems to be a little bit more interested in the whole ordeal than he does.
He seems like a douche.
Yeah, and the whole time that husband was, I have a flashy watch.
Super snobbish,
all about
talking about
himself.
the ice and the scotch.
I'm like, don't hate on waiters. I've done that,
What
before.
if that's the only ice they have?
Yeah, and waiters are working real hard. Like, shout out to everybody in the food
All the
industry
servers,
out there. Yeah.
hospitality crews.
Yeah, we see you. That's for darn sure. And so, okay, getting back to what we were saying, she's crying in the bathroom basically during their little ordeal.
Which I totally think that's all over Michael. Do you think? I thought she was grieving.
Yeah, I was asking. I'm like, okay, so
we
what
never
is
get to
wrong?
see that.
Yeah, and she made a very good point that she must be grieving about the loss of Michael, and then she's still trying to go about her business and trying to get that paper, but she does have a heart. So that was kind of interesting to see,
And that further confirms that she really did care about Michael more than all her other clients, you know? So
which is good, because
that
if
moment
he's
on the
leaving
yacht,
her this money, then
right.
you want to kind of hope that
But that means it was super
more
mutual.
Yep.
That moment they had on the yacht, like, it wasn't just for shits and giggles. That's really how she felt.
Yep. So it seems to affect her whole night, because afterwards the guy doesn't even want to pay her the $3,000 she was promised.
She got paid.
Yeah, but the whole time he's like, let's just give her the money. Like, what's she doing for this, basically? And so it was not a very good customer service moment for her. But
yeah,
it's
she lost
understandable.
them. She lost them, but I wouldn't want him as a returning customer anyway.
Exactly.
So
keep it moving. So
bye, Felipe.
of course she does. And she calls David, her boss, for a nightcap, which it doesn't turn out very well. He doesn't even finish at the end of the scene, and you can see he's just not even feeling it. No eye contact, no nothing. How did you feel about that?
What's very interesting about this, I think last week I really wanted her to stay away from him. Not only does he seem disinterested, but she seems so, I don't know, she's super addicted to this.
The lifestyle.
And at first I thought it was just the sex. But then we see after, they have that nightcap and he's like, you can stay. I have stuff to attend as far as like my family.
Right.
When she's in the shower and that guy comes in, Ben, who's the lawyer from the opposing team. What is that? XHP or whatever?
XHP, indeed.
So I think that piqued her interest even more, because she's like, why are they sharing information? Because he comes in with a banker's box and puts it in the closet. Or it almost looks like he unlocks the closet and puts it in there. And I feel like that was after she got fired, right?
Mm-hmm. He was already threatening to fire her. I don't know if she got replaced.
That was, okay, so she hadn't gotten replaced yet. She had the nightcap. And then that's when she saw the guy come in.
Exactly.
Then
he was like, I'm going to have to let you go.
Then the next day, she was replaced, or she was moved to be someone else's intern.
Reassigned to Skip Patterly or something
Skipperoo. And then that's when she walks up to his car.
Yep.
And she's like, one more time.
One
this
last time,
she has ulterior motives, because little did we know she was recording stuff.
Taking a little sexy tape, which obviously to me is blackmail. This is going to be used down the line whenever she needs to have him wrapped around her little finger so she can work whatever she needs to work and probably still keep her job. I think she's interested in both. Yeah, and she really is. We're watching her go through the computer at work. She's asking the other employees for information and just kind of saying, oh, David asked for this, which...
You don't think people talk at work?
Yeah, they talk. I'm like, honey, if you're an intern, like, I'm pretty sure they're monitoring what you're looking at.
Keyword, intern.
Yeah, exactly.
So
you're
they're
not
definitely going to be watching what you're doing.
Exactly.
You don't have your own free leisure.
Exactly. And she has clearly already caused a little bit of a rift between Aaron and David as well, because we see that Aaron and her meet up for a luncheon. And Aaron just kind of calmly lets her know, well, what do you have this interest in David for? And what are you kind of expecting to get out of it? Because he's a married man, has been for 17 years, but he's going through divorce now.
And I know you probably got some, but just so you know, he's going through some stuff mentally. So if he's coming on to you, it's not organic. He's just going through something.
Yeah.
So don't get attached, honey. That's basically the context I got from that lunch.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And it was
she
just
was letting
kind
her
of like
know.
woman to woman. I feel like
This is
Aaron's
what
like,
you're
I've
signing up
been
for.
down that road. Because like I said last week, I still feel that Aaron has messed with David. But whatevs.
I think you're right about that.
She's like, I've been down that road, and I just, you're young, you're coming up in the world, and I just want to let you know, don't get involved with that.
Exactly. Don't misstep because it'll be your last.
Right.
And I feel like she's kind of letting her know I'm in charge here still. So don't try to play cutesy with me because I'm on to you.
Exactly.
So I feel like she was kind of establishing a little bit more of her authority there. And of course, this makes Christine even more curious, which she also addresses the lawyer about the conversation between David and the other
Right. So
Ben.
She's so into this.
Yeah, and so she's listening between their conversation, and they're on opposing teams, and the words are kind of, I will make sure it will not go to trial. Our deal still stands.
Right.
So obviously there's some shady business going down here, and she's going to get to the bottom of it. But do you feel like she's going to go to the other side, maybe start a relationship with Ben to get more information?
I'm not sure, but Dave made it very clear, I am not your friend. Mm-hmm. That came out of his mouth. I'm not your friend. Maybe I will be later, but I'm definitely not your friend. Of course, not at 3 a.m. or whatever time it was when they linked up. But that lets me know that whatever she does, he's probably already on top of that.
Yep.
And that's probably why he reassigned her.
Yes,
Because
he's probably
she was
realizing.
she walked into the bathroom knocking on the door when he's talking to Ben. Like, who is that?
Yeah.
What's that about?
The audacity. I
That
feel
was
like
weird to me. I was like,
Christine
you are
is
so
brave.
ballsy.
Yeah.
was
She's
like-
fearless when it comes to finding out information.
Me, I would
She'll
be
go to
see
the
no
bottom of it.
evil, hear no evil, speak no evil.
Yeah,
like
mind
and
my
she's
own
just like,
business.
I heard that. What's that about? Like, girl, sit down, have a seat, calm down before you get yourself into some trouble. You know what curiosity does to little kitties.
Oh, exactly. That is so true. And from the no attention she gets from David, she has the total opposite of juxtaposition with the character Jack, who gives her all the attention in the world. And we kind of open up with this scene in episode 6 where Jack appears to kind of put her head underwater in the pool, and we see her come up a little disgruntled and totally upset, like, never do that to me again. And it was a quick snippet, so they kind of moved on past it really fast.
They
and
did
we
it
were
well,
wondering,
though, because
yeah.
I was thinking about that scene the entire time until it came back.
Right. I actually
was.
thought we skipped over something or fast forwarded it. So I was thinking, what happened?
So kudos to the writers for
Yes.
this, because this was very evoking of our emotions.
Very intriguing, indeed.
Because then all I could think of is when that happened, because this is after Michael has passed.
Mm-hmm.
This is after she's been doing her little dirty work at her internship. This is, I feel like she was really in deep thought.
Yep.
And him doing that, totally startled her. And have you ever been thinking so hard about something and someone does the simplest gesture and just
Yep.
tap you and then you just jump? I think
Oh,
it was one of those
totally.
moments where she was really locked in something
Immersed in
deep.
her own brain, right? And then when somebody,
Yeah, because when
caught her off guard.
she first invited him to get in the pool and he wasn't ready, if he would have done that then, I think she would have been fine.
Yes.
But she was having a moment.
That's a good point. So before we tell you what led up to the pool scene, we're going to give you a little backstory. So we see their interaction in the pool, and then she meets up with another client, Alex, for lunch. So we kind of see 2 of her clients meet up at the exact same time. And it was Jack, right? Jack was the guy that
walked in. And it was funny because as they were sitting there getting up, I'm talking to Sam and I'm like, she's going to get noticed. After a while, she keeps going out to these public, restaurants, and they're the same ones she frequents. And I'm like, I'm sure she's going to run into somebody. And lo and behold,
2 seconds later, the interaction happened.
I grabbed
she literally
Sam. I was
called
like,
it. It was a total girl moment because she just had the female intuition on point, and she knew she was going to get caught up in all this business.
I mean, I don't know if it's really caught up when everyone knows what you do and no one should get butt hurt or in their feelings,
right.
but it's
I
just
still think
weird.
You don't want. It's kind of like when you see your ex, you're like, oh, hey, we're cordial, but
And then she introduced them. Don't do that. He does not need to know his name.
Yeah.
Which we will find out why he doesn't need to know anything about her.
Yes, exactly. So we kind of see that Jack is really feeling her. They go on more private dates together. They go and get a massage, which is kind of a cute scene as she's getting her legs massaged. It's very ticklish.
He was quickly becoming my favorite.
Yeah,
he was quickly
it was
becoming my
kind
favorite.
of endearing. He's giggling and she's giggling because it tickles her, which I totally get that. If I go to the masseuse and I swear they rub my feet sometimes, I'm like, And they're like, oh God, this girl, she needs to stop. And I'm like, okay.
You might accidentally kick someone. Be careful.
Yeah, exactly. You might feel like a horse kick coming at you. So anyways, so these two are totally kind of feeling each other. And Jack decides to bring Christine on a double date. And he's saying, you know, I'm really enjoying your company. And of course, the friends who are on the double date with them say, this is the happiest we've seen Jack in a while. So what do you think about that? Do you think he's had a little bit of weird history with women?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because when they were at the pool, he brought up his ex-wife.
Yeah.
And for a second, she's like, you want me to talk trash about your ex-wife? And he's like, yeah. And then he goes, no, she was great. It was me. And immediately, everything started adding up after that, why it was him. Because clingy, then he's asking her real name, which was smart. She said Annabelle, but it seemed that didn't even matter. He's asking her where she's from, you know, where do you work?
And everything
and
she said.
And she's on point. She is giving him answer after answer that is not the truth. But
straight
the
face.
more he asked and the more she gave the answers, the more he started looking like, this bitch is lying.
Sipping tea.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
She's still
He's
not telling me the
realizing
truth.
she's a compulsive liar.
Not even that, though. He had already done his research.
Oh, yeah.
He's already, like, investigated.
Oh, yeah. He's his own kind
On
of
some
crazy.
super stalking. And he's testing to see if she's going to tell him the truth.
Yeah.
So I feel that, you know, at that moment, he was starting to creep me out a lot.
Yes, I totally agree. And we see furthermore, as they go to the pool together a little bit later, that, you know, Jack goes and picks up a business call. And as he's over there chatting on the phone by the cabana, he sees his lady being, you know, walked up on by some other guy, kind of just asking her questions. And they're laughing and seeming to have somewhat of a casual conversation. But he doesn't obviously trust her because of the line of work that she's in.
Right.
And so, of course, he's just eyeballing her from across the way for a long time, and he doesn't really address it until later. But that kind of let us know right then and there that something was up with this guy, and he's not just curious, he's a little more like, well, what do you expect when you're dating an escort?
Yeah.
Like,
I knew he was going to try and be like a Captain Save-A-Ho type of character because when they were in bed, he's like, do you like, you know, being an escort?
Yeah.
Like, it sounded like he wanted to take her away from all of that and whisk her away. And even though he sees
turn her into a housewife, that's what he's trying to do.
It can happen. I mean, she's a smart girl. But she, even though when that guy approaches her at the pool and she points out at Jack, she's like, yeah, I'm with him. He's still looking at it as if he ran into her with a client at the restaurant. So now he's like, it's another effing client that she's ran into at the pool.
I can't go anywhere with this girl.
So she's like, yeah, I'm here with him. Like, call me later. Like, in his mind, she's like, yeah, we'll set up a time later, but I'm here with him. Like, that's how he's looking at it, not realizing it. But again, people see things differently. And when you're a stage 5 clinger, you just see things.
Seeing red all day, every day. And clearly he is trying to make her a housewife because later on he comes at her with a little gift behind his back. And the whole time I'm like, is this guy going to propose already right now? Like he's going for it. But it was more of a square shape instead of like that, you know, very signature ring shape.
True. And we did see them looking at a home together.
Yes.
He brought her on the open house. And
he's very well-to-do. He can definitely afford to keep her around, which I think is her intrigue. She loves the lifestyle.
He seems really young.
Yeah. He seems like a powerful businessman.
He did throw a little dig when he's like, I'm assuming that's your client given his age or whatever.
Yeah, basically he's implying like, I'm your youngest client. You're welcome. Like the rest of these guys you're dealing with are like one step away from death. So that's kind of the implication.
Oh, rest in peace, Michael.
Yes, we literally loved Michael, so we actually kind of feel sad, R.I.P. But, you know, now she's dealing with Jack, and I feel like this is the total opposite of Michael. Very intense, very protective, very, you know, alpha male. So she leaves her phone behind, which, come on, girl. That's rule number 1 of being a player.
And at least lock your stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, you need a code in there, that little code.
And I guess it was her personal phone. So that's the difference. And she wasn't gone long, right? We see her say goodbye.
Yep.
We see her walk to the elevator. We see her immediately digging in her purse. So that gives me the impression she never even got on the elevator. You know what I'm saying? She was already out and then she comes back in. How psycho are you to be able to go through someone's phone that fast in a matter of like minutes?
Right.
And then he hid it. He hid it behind the pillows.
I wouldn't even be surprised if she had a code and he like held it up to the light to get the fingerprint. Like that'll
Wait,
trick.
is that a thing?
Oh, that's a real thing.
Oh, we need to talk about that.
How did I know that? I don't know, people.
Investigative.
Yeah, I'm a spy in my spare time. Really, though. So you can definitely see all these little things that he's going for. And Rhavin also made a really good point that she has that video of David and her on her phone.
And that phone, it's no telling what he saw. We don't know if she was telling the truth when she walks up on Dave later and she's like, hey, I lost my phone and my sister got a bunch of weird text messages. So if you did, we don't know how much of that is true or not.
Right.
Because she plays a good game.
Do you think David actually did receive something? Because part of me believed he was just, bluffing and kind of fronting just to not give her any more information because he already doesn't trust her. So, and I feel like he knows she has some sort of leverage because all she has to do is go to Megan, his wife, or divorcee to be.
I don't know, but I think Aaron is going to always side with David. Mm-hmm. And the fact that she tried to throw a little leverage when she goes into the office with Aaron and she's like, they should have made you partner. And she's like, is everything okay with you and Dave?
That was
Immediately,
great.
She's like, ooh, honey, are you scorned already? What happened?
Oh, we were loving that. Touche there, Aaron. So we were definitely feeling that scene because this just lets us know that Erin's kind of watching this whole thing from a bird's eye view.
She is.
And she's not really going to infiltrate until the time is right and she feels that somebody is, aware of the situation. Or maybe if Christine starts to rise in the company, she's going to have this as a little card for later. Like, oh, I know how you really climbed up that corporate ladder, honey.
I think it's going to be very obvious that Christine is still sticking her nose in the department she is no longer a part of. Mm-hmm. You're with Skip now, okay? So stop skipping backwards to, stick your nose in where it doesn't belong.
Yeah.
She's trying very hard to uncover something and unveil something. And if it's not affecting you, why are you so dedicated to uncovering something? There's something that we're missing.
Right. And what do you think they're up to? Like, what do you feel that those two guys are up to in your mind? Like, if you were to hypothesize about the situation.
I mean, if you were like my best friend and we were, on the same case, and you and I talk all the time,
right?
I'm pretty sure there may be some type of, I don't know. He said she'll learn when she gets older or whatever. Mm-hmm. He's like, that if it's your friend, like you'll get to know how these things work in the real world. He's basically kind of belittling her, like, this is normal. Like, yes, that's my boy. It's okay.
And there was a dollar figure addressed when she was speaking with the lawyer, right? Like $1 billion or something along those lines was in play. So I think they're talking major money. And the guy did say this would be illegal and I think he called it collision.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. It's a legal term.
And we also see when Dave gets promoted, he's no longer even supposed to be dealing with this.
Exactly.
And he wants to, right? And the guy goes, you're only getting one salary. Like, if you want to do that and this other one that you're getting promoted to, that's fine. But so you already see that he's tied to this deeply because of whatever agreement he and Ben have. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, they're working their ways. And I feel like they're both powerful in different, departments. So combining their powers, and now they can really do something quite shady. And he is now established as managing partner at Kirkland Allen. So that's a big deal. And that's definitely going to come into play. And the fact that Aaron was probably up for that position since Christine addressed that, I don't know if there's going to be a little bit of bad blood there as well between Aaron and David.
I don't know. I think she's going to have David's back no matter what. She's definitely not going to trust Christine.
Yeah.
She's not going to take Christine over David.
Do we think that Megan is going to be a more prominent character down the line, his soon-to-be ex-wife?
It's super interesting because we just found out that he's going through a divorce. We didn't know that before.
Yeah, because we saw their conflict a little bit at the party, but we didn't know the problems were that bad. Right.
So who knows? What if she tries to do something stupid and send that video to his wife?
That's what I was feeling. But that's too easy.
Yeah, I was going to say, it wouldn't matter if they're already getting a divorce. You don't want the wife
to know it. Yeah, and I feel like that would be your big, punch at the end. Like, oh, I won't show this to your wife if you do this and this for me. Because he's not going to want his wife to see this or his kids, because then that's going to tarnish the view that they have of their father and husband forever, possibly.
All I know is Jack Mr. Jack back, crazy
Hit
Jack.
the road, Jack, as they say.
He's not going anywhere.
Yes.
He's already called her personal phone. He's already called her by her government name.
He's totally onto her.
I'm afraid.
A fool at all. Yeah.
I am afraid. We don't know what information he has.
Mm-hmm.
And who's to say he got it just from minutes of having her phone there? He's been working on getting all the information on her for a very long time.
I think he's been doing Google searches, background checks. I wouldn't be surprised if he had a spy
And what does he do?
her.
Do we know what he does?
He's got money, yeah.
We know what kind of power does he have? He can probably find the dirtiest of dirt about anyone.
Exactly.
Like, we don't know.
And so the episode ends with her telling him, never call me again. But he is definitely not going to just go crawl into a hole and go away forever. He's definitely going to come back.
He literally says, Christine, are you okay? Like, the last we knew, her name was Annabelle to him.
Yeah.
Okay? So he's on it strictly, and I'm very nervous.
Ooh, it was a crazy 2 episodes, so I'm super excited to see what happens in 7 and 8. And also, there was a little scene in here that I want to make note of. If anybody in the comment section did see this as well, I'm curious. I saw when she was laying on the massage bed in the room, it kind of looked like the billboard that they've been using on buses and things like that. So, and also just throughout the cities. So let me know if you have seen that as well. And if you watch that episode, I believe that was 6.
I think it was 6.
So check that out and let me know if I am indeed correct or it could be something totally else and I'm just wishing.
Yeah.
But of course, I did see the bus on one of their Instagrams recently, and they were showing a picture next to Mickey Mouse and Minnie standing next to the Girlfriend Experience picture on the bus, and they were like, "Oh yeah, Mickey and Minnie like it."
Oh no, can we not mix child?
Not Disney
PG
in this, unfortunately. I feel like that's why they were all making a joke of it. Like, yeah, they're definitely loving it. So of course, let's tie that into a little news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
All right, so first up, we've got Riley paying homage to the death of our legendary one and only Prince. Her caption, "No words, rest in peace," which technically no words are needed.
Exactly.
It's been a crazy week with that information.
He's an icon. He was only 57 years old, so gone too soon.
And it was so much beyond just the music. He was a huge humanitarian. Huge. Also, Riley is set to hit a few feature films within the next 2 years. One portraying Crystal in American Beauty alongside Shia LaBeouf.
Ooh.
The premise of this one is a teenage girl with nothing to lose joins a traveling magazine sales crew and gets caught up in a whirlwind of hard partying, law bending, and young love as she crisscrosses the Midwest with a band of misfits. That actually sounds like that'll be a good one.
Yeah, and I feel like Shia LaBeouf, that's going to be an edgy film. He's very interesting with his film choices.
Yes, he is. He's just interesting.
In general.
Period, as of late. She'll also be a part of the star-studded cast of The Discovery, including the likes of Rooney Mara and Jason Segel, where she'll be playing the character Lacey. This premise is a love story set 1 year after the existence of the afterlife. Is scientifically verified.
Ooh, now that's interesting as well. So now that
I can
you
see
know
her
there is
doing
an
that.
afterlife,
I can see her doing that. I mean, she has the perfect stoic face for that type of genre for me.
Yeah, she can definitely bring it with the drama. I like that. I know we were actually shocked to see a picture of her smiling, which that was what you were seeing up on the screen as well. She's been sharing pictures of her in LA looking gorgeous, showing that smile that we love to see, but we don't get to see it a lot on the show, I have to admit, but obviously the character
Episode
doesn't
6 was nice.
Yeah.
Was it episode 5?
It was a little with Michael and a little with Jack. I have to say he did make her smile for a little.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they're short. I mean, 0.6 seconds. Like, it's kind of like a...
Catch it and pause, people.
You know.
Exactly. So we've got a lot to look forward to. So before we leave, we're also going to give you a little bit of our predictions for 7 and 8. Rhavin, you started, little lady.
I mean, I think I said a lot of my predictions, but Jack is someone to fear. He knows way too much too soon. Trying to move her in. Yep. I'm very nervous. She's being mean to him. I mean, I get it. But you might want to play it a different angle instead of, don't call me, get out of my life. Because, baby girl, he is all in your life. And it's there's no telling how much of your life that he has that can put you in a really shaky position. So I think Jack is going to come back with a vengeance because he's cray-cray, and that's why he has an ex-wife. Mm-hmm. You know, he's very, what was it? He's very territorial and
territorial
possessive.
is a perfect word.
Yeah. So I'm afraid of him. I'm hoping they show this eventually. I still think Aaron and David's relationship is a lot more than what we see. And she, meaning Christine, is going to get in a lot of freaking trouble with work. Mm-hmm. She needs to stop.
I can definitely see
signing
that happening.
in, trying to log in on the computers, the work computers, where people can track IPs of how many times something has tried to been logged in, and all that stuff. It's very, very sloppy. Mm-hmm. And I'm not used to her being sloppy.
Yeah, she's very on point, but I feel like she's a little ruthless right now, and so the ego and the whole
why
excitement
the
of it. Yeah.
Why the thirst?
You've got your money, you've got your job, like, don't play anymore. Like, no more fire, girl.
She feeds off that. She must need some more excitement in her life.
I totally agree. I also think that she's going to be pursuing the $500,000. I just don't know why. She's just doing that type of stuff lately, and I feel like her fearless nature is going to allow her to just keep prevailing forward, and she's not really worried about the consequences, or I would say that her only thing that she would worry about is people finding out her identity and making that public record, because Jack, my friend, is totally going to be like,
gosh, he knows her name.
Which he already knows that she's an escort, so it's not like that would be a huge shock. But then as well to her business, you know, they're all going to find out.
Ooh, this also goes back to why she should have still been with Jacqueline.
Yes, and that's what I was going to address next, is Jacqueline is going to be the person to call, actually, because when things get sloppy and she's not able to continue her work as an independent person, then I feel like she's going to want to go back with the agency, because this is probably the protection that Jacqueline was discussing with her, as far as I keep this from being messy. In fact, she may even be able to help her getting that money, because there may be a way around the system. But
do you think she's going to want to help her?
I don't think so. But she may, because she has such a huge client list. You know, the fact that she's already got these return customers and she's doing it all by herself shows she's independent, she's savvy, she's willing to do what it takes.
But it also shows that she's happy making her full cut of the money,
yes,
too.
That is true. So I think if she did have her back, she's not going to trust her fully, and she's going to have full eyes on her to make sure that you're doing things my way or the highway, honey. So that could definitely happen.
Who's to say Jacqueline didn't even put that bug Jack on her?
Yeah.
You never know.
Exactly. And I'm feeling that Aaron is going to discover the video of David and Christine. I'm feeling like she could use that as a little leverage to kind of put herself in a better position with the company. She already, you know, made the engagement with the XHP person, and now that David is working his own deal with Ben, I feel like she's kind of aware of their secret business, you know, that they're conducting, and she's already willing to do what it takes to lock in her own clients. So what's not to say that she would go the extra step and totally try to steal the deal from David.
That would be so ballsy.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. I feel like Erin is assertive and she gets the job done. So I'm kind of hoping to see that from that character.
We know she gets the job done.
Yes, she does.
One last question. Where in the world is Avery?
Avery is gone. Okay, so is Avery coming back? That's a really good question.
That's what I hope to see. I still want to know what she took from Christine.
Yeah, and maybe they're going to need her back at some point because they need, you know, a bigger client list of girls. Who knows? Because I feel like Avery kind of showed Christine to the business. So she knows what she's doing. She kind of gave her the in that she needed, and clearly she has her own connections built. But I think once these girls start developing further relations with certain guys and they become, you know, infatuated or in love, then they kind of walk away from the business side of things.
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we'll also have to see whatever's going to be happening with Jack. We're definitely predicting he's going to be back with a full vengeance because that's his style. So we've got a lot to look forward to in episodes 7 and 8. You know where to find us. Same place, same time next week, of course. We're going to leave you with our social media one more time. I'm your lead host, Samantha Benitz. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Samantha_Benitz, Benitz. And where can they find you?
It's Rhavin with a V, and you can find me at B Stays Busy, BIZZY.
And this beautiful lady has a gorgeous voice, so be sure to check her out because she's singing the jams,
Oh, you're
people.
too sweet to me.
So check out also our new AfterBuzzTV.com website. It's looking amazing. It's all revamped and looking extra awesome. Of course, you can download us on YouTube, rate us 5 stars, also watch us on iTunes, and leave us a thumbs up as well in both opposite ways. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying, people. And we'll see you next time. Same place, same time. Bye-bye.
Deuces.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.